We're starting with the gear you see every day. The foundation of any ground force is its personal weapons. Think of the pistol as the classic sidearm, the last resort buddy for officers and anyone who needs a backup. The submachine gun, SMG, that's the fast-firing, compact choice for close quarters fighting. The real workhorse is the assault rifle, the standard infantry weapon, your go-to for all-purpose engagements. Finally, for those long-range, one-shot, one-kill moments, you have the precision of the sniper rifle. These are the essential tools that make up the very foundation of ground combat. Before we move to anti-armor systems, let's quickly cover the crew-served weapons that give squads and platoons their sustained firepower. The light machine gun serves as the squad's automatic weapon, providing suppressive fire that keeps enemy forces pinned down while friendly troops maneuver. Unlike rifles, LMGs can sustain continuous fire for longer periods, though they're still light enough for one soldier to carry and operate. Examples include the American M249 Sawtaw and the Russian RPK. Medium and heavy machine guns step up the firepower significantly. These are typically mounted on tripods or vehicles and require a crew to operate effectively. The classic Browning M2 50 caliber machine gun, for instance, has been in service since the 1930s and can engage both personnel and light vehicles at ranges exceeding a mile. These weapons anchor defensive positions and provide overwatch during offensive operations. Automatic grenade launchers like the Mark 19 fire explosive projectiles in rapid succession, saturating an area with fragmentation effects. They bridge the gap between small arms and artillery, giving platoons the ability to engage targets behind cover or in defilade at ranges up to 2 kilometers. Mortars are perhaps the most important indirect fire weapon at the infantry level. A mortar team can drop high explosive or illumination rounds onto targets hidden behind hills or buildings, providing immediate fire support without waiting for artillery. Sizes range from lightweight 60mm tubes carried by a single soldier up to 120mm systems that require vehicles for transport. Next, systems developed to defeat armor and fortified positions. As tanks became dominant on the battlefield, infantry needed weapons that could level the playing field. RPGs are portable anti-armor launchers used by infantry. The RPG-7, developed in the Soviet Union during the 1960s, became one of the most widely distributed weapons in history. A single soldier can carry the launcher and several rounds, making it effective for ambushes and defensive positions. The warhead uses a shaped charge to penetrate armor, and while modern tanks have countermeasures, RPGs remain lethal against lighter vehicles and fortifications. Recoilless rifles and similar guns give infantry a way to threaten armored vehicles without the backblast and weight penalties of conventional cannons. These weapons vent propellant gases rearward to cancel recoil, allowing for a lightweight tube that can fire powerful rounds. The Carl Gustav, used by many Western armies, exemplifies this category. It's crew-served, relatively portable, and can fire both anti-tank and anti-structure ammunition out to several hundred meters. ATGMs are longer-range, high-precision anti-tank missiles employed by teams or vehicles. Unlike unguided rockets, these systems use wire guidance, laser designation, or infrared tracking to steer the missile onto target. The American Javelin and the Russian Kornet represent modern ATGMs that can engage tanks beyond visual range with top attack profiles that strike where armor is thinnest. Some vehicle-mounted systems, like the TOW, have ranges exceeding 4 kilometers, making them formidable even against main battle tanks. Mines deny mobility and can immobilize heavy vehicles. Anti-tank mines contain enough explosive to shear off a track or destroy a wheel assembly, leaving the vehicle stranded and vulnerable. They're typically buried in patterns across likely approach routes. Modern militaries also use scatterable mine systems that can be deployed rapidly from aircraft or artillery, creating instant barriers. While controversial due to their indiscriminate nature, mines remain a staple of defensive warfare. One of the newest additions to the anti-armor toolkit is the loitering munition, sometimes called a kamikaze or suicide drone. These small unmanned aircraft can fly over a battlefield for extended periods, searching for targets. When an operator identifies a tank, vehicle, or position, the drone dives and detonates its warhead. Systems like the Israeli Harop or the smaller commercial-derived drones seen in recent conflicts blur the line between reconnaissance and strike, that giving even small units precision strike capability that was once the exclusive domain of air forces. At the platform level, we move from mobility and protection to heavy firepower and air defense. These are the systems that define mechanized warfare. IFVs carry troops and provide direct fire in support of infantry. Unlike simple transports, fighting vehicles like the American Bradley or Russian BMP are armed with autocannons, typically between 20 and 40 millimeters, and often carry anti-tank missiles as well. Troops can fight from inside through firing ports or dismount to engage on foot while the vehicle provides covering fire. IFVs represent a philosophy. Infantry should arrive at the fight protected and with their own armored fire support already in place. APCs focus on moving soldiers safely with modest armament. Where an IFV is designed to fight alongside infantry, an APC like the M113 or BTR series is primarily a battle taxi. It has enough armor to protect against small arms and shell fragments, and usually mounts a heavy machine gun for self-defense. But its main job is getting troops to the objective. APCs are lighter, cheaper, and easier to maintain than IFVs, which makes them attractive for armies that need to move a lot of infantry without breaking the budget. Main battle tanks combine armor, firepower, and mobility to dominate ground combat. The modern MBT is the descendant of the breakthrough tanks of World War I, but it has evolved into a precision weapon system. Tanks like the American M1 Abrams, German Leopard 2, or Russian T-90 mount large-caliber smoothbore or rifled guns, typically 120 to 125 millimeters, that can punch through heavy armor at ranges exceeding 2 kilometers. Composite armor, reactive armor tiles, and active protection systems defend against incoming missiles and shells. Despite decades of predictions about their obsolescence, main battle tanks remain central to offensive operations because nothing else combines their firepower, protection, and shock effect. Self-propelled systems put big guns or missiles on a mobile chassis for survivability and flexibility. Traditional towed artillery is vulnerable once it's set up. Self-propelled guns like the American M109 Paladin or German Panzerhaubitze 2000 can fire, displace, and fire again from a new location before counter-battery radar can direct return fire. Self-propelled anti-tank guns mount large-caliber cannons or missile launchers on tracked or wheeled platforms, allowing them to reposition rapidly and engage targets from unexpected angles. Mobility equals survival in modern artillery warfare. Towed guns and mortars deliver indirect fire in support of troops. While less mobile than self-propelled systems, towed artillery like the M777 howitzer or Soviet-designed D-30 are lighter, cheaper, and can be airlifted into remote positions. Heavy mortars in the 120 millimeter range are often towed as well. These systems excel in static defensive positions or in terrain where roads are poor and lighter weight is essential. Artillery remains the king of the battlefield in terms of casualties inflicted. Most combat deaths in modern conventional wars come from indirect fire, not bullets. Rocket artillery delivers fast, large-volume bombardment. Systems like the American M270 MLRS or Russian BM-21 Grad can saturate an area the size of several football fields in seconds. Each launcher carries between 12 and 40 rockets depending on the system, and a single salvo can deliver hundreds of submunitions or precision-guided warheads. The psychological effect is immense. There's little warning and no place to hide when rockets start landing. Modern guided rockets blur the line between artillery and tactical missiles, capable of hitting specific buildings or vehicles at ranges exceeding 70 kilometers. Before we discuss air defense, we should mention the tactical reconnaissance drone that's become essential to modern artillery and maneuver warfare. Small quadcopters and fixed-wing drones give units real-time overhead observation without the delay and coordination required for manned aircraft. A battery commander can launch a drone, spot enemy positions, adjust artillery fire, and confirm battle damage, all within minutes. Systems range from commercial off-the-shelf quadcopters to purpose-built military drones like the RQ-11 Raven. These drones have democratized aerial reconnaissance, bringing it down to the company and even platoon level. Man-pads let infantry defend against aircraft at short ranges. Shoulder-fired missiles like the American Stinger or Russian Igla use infrared seekers to home in on aircraft exhaust. With ranges typically between 3 and 5 kilometers and altitudes up to around 3,000 meters, they're deadly to helicopters and low-flying jets. Man-pads don't require radar, which makes them hard to detect and counter. A single team hiding in vegetation can deny airspace to an enemy's helicopters, protecting friendly forces from air attack. Their proliferation is a concern because they're portable enough to be smuggled and used by non-state actors. Ground-based air defense systems protect forces from aerial threats across a wider envelope than man-pads. Towed or self-propelled anti-aircraft guns like the German Gepard or Russian Tunguska combine rapid-fire cannons, often radar-guided, with short-range surface-to-air missiles. These systems can engage helicopters, drones, cruise missiles, and low-flying aircraft. They typically accompany armored formations, providing an umbrella of protection as the force maneuvers. Self-propelled systems keep pace with tanks. Towed systems defend static positions like airfields or command posts. In modern warfare, where precision-guided munitions and attack drones are everywhere, mobile air defense is not optional, it's survival. The newest addition to air defense is the counter-drone system designed specifically to defeat the small tactical drones we discussed earlier. Traditional air defense radars and missiles are often ineffective against plastic quadcopters flying just above the treetops. Militaries are fielding specialized systems that use electronic jamming to sever the drone's link with its operator, directed energy weapons like lasers to burn through the airframe, or even net-launching guns to physically capture the drone. Some systems use their own drones to ram or intercept enemy drones in midair. This is an arms race in miniature. As more forces adopt cheap commercial drones, counter-drone technology becomes as critical as traditional air defense. So that's kind of the high-level sweep, from the land-based to the squad's machine gun all the way up to the tanks and the big self-propelled guns, the ground air defense systems. And you got to include the drones because, they're just totally reshaping modern combat, right? We went over the role each of these systems plays, how they all fit into that combined arms puzzle, and why militaries keep throwing money at this stuff. If you found this overview helpful, hit the subscribe button. You know the drill. Tell us in the comments which one of these systems you really want a deep dive on. All right, thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.